This is the homeless shelter that me, my brother, and my father lived at twice as a kid. And since then, I've grown up, started successful businesses, and have made millions of dollars. And if you're going through something right now, this video is for you. And it's free, no money whatsoever, guaranteed, so please put your guard down. Because starting today, I'm embarking on a huge mission by starting a brand new company that will officially be changing lives, so please listen closely. Now, I don't want to make this story specifically about me, but I feel in order to have you guys understand exactly why we're embarking on this mission, please allow me just 2 to 3 minutes to talk about myself for a second. I remember living there at 6 years old, and we had nothing, but I didn't know I was homeless at the time. I knew there was people coming in from churches feeding us food. I knew that there was a bunch of people living here, but I just assumed it was our apartment complex, so I didn't really feel a sense of embarrassment. Believe it or not, I was actually homeless 3 times, twice in that shelter, and one time we actually lived in a car for a few months, until that car ended up catching fire on the side of the highway, which pretty much killed the only reliable thing we had. It wasn't until my dad decided to move to North Carolina, got in a better job and situation to where we had our own place. And our own place was this big shared place that we had with all of my cousins and my grandmother and my grandfather. I also forgot to mention that my dad suffered from kidney failure. So while in North Carolina, he actually consulted with some doctors who said he had a better chance of finding a donor and getting a kidney and living a normal life away from dialysis if he moved back to Connecticut. So we packed all of our stuff and took a bus from North Carolina to Connecticut. Now, I never asked my dad, did he have a plan? I was just excited that there was a chance he could get a kidney. And once we arrived to CT, I found myself right back at the same shelter. This time, I knew it was a shelter. I knew we were homeless, and I was definitely embarrassed. I was 13 at the time, so I know what it's like being homeless. I know what it's like going a day without food. Hell, I remember playing basketball and coming back home and my dad telling me that him and my little brother had to stand on the side of the corner store trying to sell my dad's watch that he got in North Carolina for a measly $15 so we can get some rice and frozen meat and some beans for dinner. Like that type of homeless. I remember it all. And I always told myself when I became successful, I would not forget where I came from. And I didn't. And all of that was the catalyst to me starting my new company. And that new company is called Gold Hearted. With Gold Hearted, we are taking some of the profits from some of the businesses that I run on top of personally contributing and literally changing lives. I'll get into the how a little bit later. Now, with Gold Hearted, we are not going online, finding a link and just paying money. That helps, but we feel like we can take it a step further. With the money we utilize each month, we want to physically take that money and do something with it. This will be worldwide. It's easy to start with the original shelter I was at, but we plan on helping individuals and families from all over the world. And here's a clear-cut example. So on one particular month, we could take one person or several people who are homeless, figure out a way to get them an apartment and pay their rent for the entire year, make sure we fix their resume up, get them a haircut, make sure they have groceries to last the entire year, get them a mental health coach to make sure that they are okay, work with them on helping them, finding them a job, and giving them the rest of the money from that budget that we allocated that month to live off of for the rest of the year. And effectively, somebody's life is changed just like that. Or another time, we may fix up an entire facility for the younger generation, fix the flooring, the rims, the courts, everything. I know some people out there may not think that's much, but to kids who are 8 years old to 18, even a little bit younger, to have actual resources to use in your city is the difference between something being a pipe dream to something being a reality when they grow up. Teachers who need actual supplies for their kids, or they just want to bring their entire class to Disney World to give them an experience they've never could have dreamed of. So when they come back to school, they're motivated to learn and get straight A's. Yes, this applies for you too. This is not a homeless mission. My dad suffered from kidney failure. My mom had breast cancer twice. I grew up in Bridgeport and we did not have the best resources in the city for sports. And this is also not just for traders. Now, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you are somebody who is interested in my content or the finance industry. But if you know somebody, or you have a cousin or a friend or somebody who knows somebody who is going through something, they all are qualified. And when I say qualified, they have the chance to be chosen. Now, more on being chosen later on in the video. And people may be watching this video and say, what is a portion? Well, first off, the reason it says a portion and not a specific number, because originally we wanted that number to be 1%. Like, we had a whole video dedicating it to just 1% for my businesses. And that still may be the case at the start, you know, committing 1% per business, which is a lot, by the way, when you add it up. But there just may be some months where you want to do more, where, you know, 4,000 all the way to 30,000 or even more per month could, like I said, it literally could change somebody's entire life, like not just now, but 20 years from now. So we didn't want to like have a set number at 1% in case you wanted to do more. So that's why it says a portion. Like even getting a single mother, like a car, you know, like $1,000 may not do that, but 14 on a month on Christmas, where, you know, we want to just make sure we give as much as possible, that can help. Because I remember being homeless at 13 and all my dad needed was an extra $600 a month, and we would have had a nice little apartment in Bridgeport. $600 a month, which is not a lot of money. That's $7,200 a year. And the fact that we couldn't do the $600 a month, or we didn't have nobody to help. Obviously, I'm not like a victim or saying somebody should have helped me. I'm not saying that, but the fact that we didn't, you know, have that $600 a month caused us to be in that shelter. So I say all that to say, it doesn't take much to change somebody's life. You know, even giving, you know, somebody $500 on the street, like I see, you know, MD Motivator and a lot of other people are doing, that completely brightens their day and changes a lot and gives them hope, which is what we want to do here. You know, we feel like anybody can write a check to, you know, the research of mental health. But my wife told me there's, you know, one thing that money can't solve, and that's time. And since I was, you know, in their shoes, I feel like I'm the perfect person in my industry to do something like this. Now, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this to be a step ahead of other prop firms or other businesses, educational. I'm not doing this for none of that. I'm not doing this for any other reason other than the promise I made to myself at that shelter when I told myself I would never forget where I came from. And I want to make sure that I see it through. So just so you guys know, our website is right below, goldhearted.com. Full disclosure, I know there's, you know, measures I have to take with the law to make sure I'm doing this in an appropriate way, you know, make sure it's all legal and all structured, and I'm 100% ready to be full compliant with everything. And the most important part of this video, you guys, please pay attention to the next thing I'm about to say very closely. I cannot do this without your help at all. If anybody has any personal stories relating to anything, whatever it is, you know somebody, anything, homeless, low income area, schooling, you haven't seen your parents in 5 months because they live in another country, a facility could use, you know, a complete renovation, and you don't mind being recorded by us so we can spread the word out and get more people to be involved in this, please email us at the link provided here. Please, please, please do so. Write everything out, because we are gonna go through and read everything. Feel free to say where you're from, where you're located, who you are, how old you are, and tell your story. You can send a video, you can write it out, whatever it is, just send it to that email, because we are going through every single one to see how we can change lives. And I don't want you guys to think this is just some thing I'm just doing that's gonna last next month and then, you know, December, and then that's it. We plan on, you know, having this for a long time. So understand that there's next month, there's February, there's May, there's next August, there's next October. We're gonna keep this going. Like I said, there may be some times where we may help a city or a cause we're already familiar with, but we do want you guys to please email us your stories, because for 98% of them, we're gonna go off of helping you guys genuinely, and that's gonna mean a lot to us. This is a mission I'm personally funding myself and using some of the profits from the business and attaching, you know, that to this cause. So each month I'll have a pretty good idea on what we're allocating towards a specific person. And please don't be afraid to pour your heart out. If you're somebody who can't even go back to college because you have a $16,000 debt, don't think anything is too much, right? Obviously, we're not saying, tell us you need $500,000. We're not doing that. Like, we're trying to change lives. But if you're really going through something stressing you out or affecting you, let us know in that email. Goldhearted.com is where everything is at. So guys, the sun has completely gone down while recording this video. That means it's the end of this video. So thank you guys for watching. You know, I'm really proud of the team that we have in place to help with this this cause and this journey we're about to go on. I'm really, really excited to give back. Like I said, this is not something that's paid. You don't gotta pay me nothing. Like, we want to help, and I'm keeping the promise I made to myself as a kid. So I look forward to reading your stories and changing some lives. Later.